Hi everyone, this is Gavin from gavinsgadgets.com. Hope you're keeping well. This is the LG V30, V30 Plus to be precise, and a lot of you've asked for this. This is the full audio review. I've got a stack of headphones down here which I'm going to go through, Bluetooth, wired, with some opinions, and going to test obviously the difference between wired and audio and the loudspeaker. So first off, we're going to test the loudspeaker, and this is a piece of music that I created due to YouTube's copyright. You can hear that. So it may sound a bit different through the mic on the camera, but it's not too bad actually. So this has probably got one of the better loudspeakers on a V series phone for a while. So very good for podcasts, good for if you're just listening, watching the odd YouTube or Netflix. I've done it with the speaker, no problem. You might drop it one notch down from maximum volume, but it's okay. It's not too bad at all. I've just had Sophie appear in the room. She's down here at the moment with my black labs. So as you know, this has a special sort of quad DAC, as they call it. So it adjusts the impedance mode or adjusts the power that's required depending on how high the impedance of headphones. The rough guide, headphones over 50 ohms go into high impedance mode. But really, even at sub 50 ohms, all it does with quad DAC, it just provides a wider dynamic range, more punch as a consequence. So we're going to check out some wired options, and I'm going to go through how they all sound. So if we look at some in-ear options first, and what we'll do is we'll take the official buds, if you're lucky enough to have the included B&O headphones, and these are the B&O headphones here. Of course they're completely tangled up, which was never the case when I put them down there a second ago. These aren't too bad. A lot of people, when they use these, will be quite pleased with them. They're very pleasing commercial sounds. They've got deep bass, deep sub bass. These sort of high-end sort of treble and mid-range isn't as detailed as I'd like, not as clear, but for free in the box these are absolutely amazing. So to show you these, I've untangled them. They simply connect in like so, and they're fairly flush, but I'd certainly give these a go. I think you'd be quite surprised. As an in-ear option, they ain't too bad. So you get lots of bass, definitely bass enhanced, but they won't activate high impedance mode if that's what you're worried about. That's a question. However, these are the VE Monk Plus, which are really odd in the sense they don't go in your ear, they just sit like cheapo ones like so. But when you plug these in, and I'll just plug them in, it does actually trigger the high impedance mode, and I'll try and put that to camera if I can. But I've got an app called Hi-Fi Status which tells me whether it's high or low. Now if I just go into some songs here, just press shuffle for a second. These sound quite good. You don't get the same level of bass because they're not big enclosures, or they're not in-ear either. But the VE Monk Plus, I have reviewed these separately. These do trigger high impedance mode and are recommended for that type of headphone. They're pretty good actually. This is one of my old-time classics. Very fussy headphone. This is the Sony. Let me show you this very carefully. This is the Sony XBA-1, and I've got some Comply 400 S tips on these. Fit nicely. They have a very different sound. They're not heavy on the bass at all. They need a good quality amp to drive them. Anything rubbish, they sound awful. They're not too bad through this, nice and clear. But again, these are low normal impedance mode, so the quad DAC on, you just get a wider dynamic range. And it does sound better even on standard headphones that are easy to drive using the quad DAC. You do get a wider dynamic range, and if you're using FLAC files or tidal streaming or something equivalent, you do start to notice the difference on that wider dynamic range. These are the Sennheiser Momentum wired headphones, and these sound pretty good. They're a good pairing. Again, normal impedance mode, another recommendation. I'll try and leave links for everything, so you can, if you want any of these headphones, you can. Now I did, it goes over ear wide. So I did review very recently, you can check the videos back, the Sennheiser HD579, and they are being used at the moment by someone else downstairs. But I don't know if you can see that. I'll let it focus. Or is it going to just bring that in? But the price, hang on, the price of these is $53.99 at the moment on Argus. Bargain. So they are 50 ohms, they trigger the high impedance mode on the V30. Definitely worth a shot. Now obviously what I'm going to do in a second is go through the actual audio quality, but I'm going to do that with the last pair of headphones at the end, the most expensive, because how they perform is very similar. Actually, the last two pairs of headphones I'm going to do, I'm going to sort of go through all about the quality on the treble, mid-range, soundstage and all that stuff. Now, what about USB-C headphones? These are the Razer headphones, the Hammerhead Type-C. They come with a Type-C connector here, so if I put those in and I hit play, and they come out through here, no problem. So let's have a quick listen. Very nice. So if you just want Type-C, this is the Type-C connector, the Razer Hammerhead headphones, definitely worth a shot. They've got good dynamics. Again, this is not using the quad DAC, this is using the own DAC in the actual headphone set, so a different approach. I still think the quad DAC's overall better, so you're better to use a standard 3.5mm wide. Now we're going to jump into Bluetooth, and I'm going to talk about difference in Bluetooth. These are the Sony WH-1000MX2s, state-of-the-art Bluetooth. Now, before I tell you about the Bluetooth, you can plug a cable in, and how do they sound? Well, better. Better than the Bluetooth, but the Bluetooth is pretty good. So in Bluetooth, you have, at the moment, you can run them in aptX or aptX HD, high definition, and pretty awesome, to be honest. They're probably one of the best Bluetooth headphones you can get. If you're lucky enough to have V30 with Oreo already installed, because it's just rolling out, you will have LDAC, and I do recommend using these in LDAC on the V30 because it's even better still. Very, very recommended. Lovely Bluetooth headphone. However, what about if you like Apple stuff? AirPods, believe it or not, sound brilliant with the V30. Great range, you can walk around my house in, no problem with these. That's surprising. Obviously you can hear everything, good dynamics, very clear, better sounding on the V30 than an iPad or iPhone. Go figure that one out. There you go. These are the Sony WH-1000MX2, I think they are. Little in-ear things with noise cancellation. They sound okay, but I actually prefer the AirPods. But if you want noise cancellation and you're on a train, you're commuting, these are very, very good and stay in your ears. They only have AAC as the top audio codec. They don't do more than that, don't have aptX or anything. So the audio quality is okay on Bluetooth, but I think they're quite good. if you want something which is very nice, these, and I will be doing the full review of these shortly, but as we're doing this I thought I might as well mention it. These are, a magnet held in, the Optima New Force BE38 truly wireless headphones, and I've never come across anything really quite so good as these. Charging case, enormous range, deep bass. Sometimes the bass is a detriment of the mid-range and the treble. They connect really well to the V30, and you could say black iPods. There you go. They're probably the best in-ear ones, I think, at the moment. Right, now we're going to talk more specifics, and we're going to go to my top two headphones for the V30. I'm going to talk a lot about dynamics, punch range, everything. So these are the Bayer Dynamic, the DT770. These are the special limited edition black ones. As you've seen from my previous reviews, I've got the 250 ohms. I actually prefer the 250, but a lot of you have probably lost your hearing a bit and may want the 80 because the 80 can go much louder. So if I put these on, you can see they are quite a big looking headphone, but very comfortable, and they are sort of slight, they're closed back, so they stop the sound coming out. They're a bit passive. But if I actually put these on here, they've got such great dynamics. So you've got a decent sound stage, really deep, goes down really low. The V30 drives these extraordinarily well. So, and these can be bought very low cost as well, about 119, thereabouts. I said the 250 is a bit more smoother, it's lush. The vocals are slightly more refined, but you will be right at the top end of the volume when you actually buy the 250 ohms. For me, it's enough. I know some of you in one of my previous videos said you preferred the 80, so I do have to actually have the 80, but in the black finish, I'll leave a link below. These are a true bargain. I mentioned the LG V30s. You could get them for £54, but these at 119 are epic, because you can commute with these because they're closed back, they cut out enough noise, they have deep low dynamics, full of expression. Your music, you'll hear things you haven't heard in your music. It really will come to life. Soundstage isn't too bad, it's fairly wide. With the V30 you get the wider dynamic range, the quad DAC. These are 80 ohms, as I said. The treble mid-range is excellent, and deep bass, superb. But the best is at the end, and the best headphones that you can have are the Sennheiser HD 660S. So these are obviously quite a new one. On your head, very comfortable. Funny enough, the Bayer Dynamic are more comfortable than these, despite these having probably bigger ear cups. No good for commuting, no good unless you're at home, which is why ultimately I think either the 579 from Sennheiser or the Bayer Dynamic DT770 80 ohms, probably top two tips. If you want the high impedance mode on the quad DAC. And I've got to say, these have wonderful sound. They're not driven to their fullest by the V30, so if you had better amplification you'd get more out of these. But what is the overall difference between the Bayer Dynamics I've just mentioned and these? On certain music, like if you go to a concert and you're listening live, and sometimes the singer gives you your hairs lifts on your arms, it's such a moving experience. These can create that moving experience. The Bayer Dynamics are very, not clinical, but they have that effect where they're so precise, so good. In that sense, these are slightly warmer and have a more interesting sound. If you want any help or any guidance on headphones, just ask below. Happy to give a chip in, and everyone else can also help as well. So if you've got any suggestions, what is your favourite headphone? Let us know. It's Gavin from Gavin's Gadgets. Keep well, guys. Catch you guys soon. Bye for now.